Stephen Fry in Kingdom, the intriguing drama of Marchlands, and Richard Roxburgh stars in Rake.
Welcome to Live Rugby League. Today in Queensland Cup, it's week 1 of the split round 17. East's Tigers host the undefeated Tweed Heads Seagulls at Langlands Park, Stones Corner. And what a glorious winter's day we have here at the home of the Tigers. Quentin Hull with you. Great to have you on board for this week's edition of the Queensland Cup. And many would suggest we could be in for a one-sided game, but the Tigers pulled an upset last time they were on TV. That was back in round 12 when they beat the Ipswich Jets, and I'm sure the hosts would hope that they put in another good performance today against the red-hot competition favourites, the unbeaten Tweed Heads. Just a draw a couple of weeks ago against Mackay, the only blot on their copybook so far in 2011. So the Seagulls big favourites today, but we've got 80 minutes of footy to decide the 2 premiership points. Let's have a look at the results from last weekend with the Northern Pride defeating the Sunshine Coast. The Sea Eagles continue to improve. Another tight scoreline there, but the Pride winning. We saw South Slogan beat Burleigh in our feature game. Mackay and North's winners over Central and East's respectively. The Jets got the better of Redcliffe, an important win for the Jets in what's been a topsy-turvy season for them, and a big victory for our competition leaders, the Tweed Heads Seagulls, over their opponents of last week to take them to 31 points and 7 clear of Redcliffe on top of the table. And you can see East's there, second from the bottom. It's been a tough season here at Langlands Park. As ever, great to have Warren Boland and David Wright with me. What a great day for footy. Warren, what a great day for an upset, perhaps.
Well, exactly, Quentin. Long odds, the Tigers, aren't they? But that's why we call them upsets. There'll be more upsets before this season's over, and maybe it'll be today.
And David, it has been such a disappointing season for the Tigers. What are your thoughts?
Well, Quentin, you're right. I mean, there were great expectations around the Tigers. They got a new coach in this year in Troy McCarthy, and McCarthy's record is probably better than no one else. I mean, he's played or coached 11 seasons in senior footy, made the grand final every year and won 4 premierships. That is unheard of, I would think, and a great effort by Troy McCarthy. He can coach all right, and I'm sure, even though this season hasn't worked for him, a lot of injuries, changes. There's 10 changes in today's program side, so he's done it pretty tough. But the most intriguing selection for mine is the 105 kg, locked forward normally, Leon Panapa, playing at 5'8" today. So that's really interesting. Instead of fighting fire with fire, I'd say Troy McCarthy said, look, our flamethrowers aren't as big as yours. We're going to try a bit of fire with some fire hose. So he's going to try and charge Panapa at their 2 good halves, particularly Brad Davis, and that's what I'll be watching closely for today. East are a pretty capable side, even though they're well down on the table. They have put in some good performances. Their backline, I don't think they use it enough. This is a big Shane Newman. Fires the pass out there on the outside to Stevenson. Now, Stevenson will play fullback today, and that won't be a problem for him. Kicking is just an integral part of the game these days, and the big fella Nico goes up beautifully. He'll play on the left wing again today as well. He'll be a danger with that high ball. And then this little grubber kick through again to pick up some good support play there by Chisholm. He'll play on the other wing today as well. And then Isaac Cotman comes in the halfback position, does a bit of a solo effort. So they've got enough firepower. That's all in the back line we saw then, and they're pretty capable. Actually, the last time we're talking about big 5'8", I'll never forget the day that Wally Lewis came up against Olsen Philippine. Now, Wally beat every 5'8" ever saw him play against. One day, Olsen Philippine gave him a bit of trouble, and let's see if that can happen today with big Leon Panapa. There he is in the number 19. Let's see if he just goes straight at the halves. The full side, Stevenson at fullback, Chisholm and Nico on the wings. As I say, a lot of changes they've brought in. Newman and Morris in the centres. Panapa, I've mentioned Isaac Cotman, key player. He's also just come back into the side. McKenna Gibson picked in 9 to play lock forward. Thorpe, Boyd, Harlow, Stosic and Hockham. It's a good enough side to really give the Sea Eagles a bit of a run for their money this afternoon. But Warren, the Seagulls, I should say, what a season they've had. 7 points clear at the top.
It's incredible, isn't it, David? Very rare that you lead by 7 points. They've got the best for and against in the competition, 15 wins, unbeaten, just the one draw with Mackay. Everything's going right for them, and why not? Because they've got a complete team, forwards, backs, guided and organised by Brad Davis in that half-back role. It is a complete team, and when they do suffer an injury, well, they bring in a Canberra under-20 in Nathan Mossman, the 21-year-old. He was originally going to be the starting hooker today, but instead they go back to Tim McCann, one of the most experienced halves and dummy halves in the game. So they have depth, they've got a complete team, and they are firing this season. But they still have to be wary today. If we look back at some of the highlights from round 10, they were taking on Redcliffe. Brad Davis slots in a grubber, and who's there? Matt King, the 5'8", pounces on it. Davis works it wide here. Out it goes to Simpkins, who's in the second row today. Simpkins gets a good pass away. James Wood goes all the way to the line. He is a talent, James Wood. And then one more, Davis to Birdie. Now, this was a controversial try against the Northern Pride. It came off the foot of Birdie and it's play on, and Merritt scores the try, and Merritt is one to watch on the wing. In the dressing room, they should be relaxed. Ben Anderson on the right there, just looking over his charges as they get ready for yet another contest. They just have to keep their intensity up. That's the challenge for them. And there's the man, Brad Davis. He's in charge. Kicking game so important from Davis. Here's the lineup. Ryan Milligan at fullback, Nat Barnes and Tom Merritt the wingers, James Wood and Dominic Peru the centres, Matt King 5'8", Brad Davis halfback and captain, Will Matthews at lock forward, Ryan Simpkins and Selassie Birdie second rowers, Aaron Cannings and Josh Starling the props, Tim McCann is the hooker, and there's Nathan Mossman along with Rod Griffin, Jake Leary, Cody Nelson. It's an outstanding 17 at Queensland Cup level. So, hot favourites are the Tweed Heads Seagulls, but do you realise they haven't won here since 2007? Haven't beaten the Tigers. Maybe today's the day that the Tigers can keep that record going.
Picture postcard stuff on this Saturday in late winter. Or midwinter, really. And gee, David, if you ever want to remind yourself of how wonderful it is to be living in this part of the world at this time of year, I left Melbourne. This morning, having called the NRL game last night with fog and 7 degrees, greeting Melburnians.
Yes, my eldest son Anthony lives in Melbourne now, and he often relates the weather. And Sydney's been copping it too, haven't they? They've had some pretty average weather there. Where would you rather be?
Wet in Sydney. Yeah. Look at the conditions here, and the long walk from those archaic away change rooms here at Lang Parks, the old Langlands Park, the old enemy rooms, like the old days, still here.
Yeah, those rooms for the visitors are different, but beautiful setup here in terms of the Tigers setup.
And I asked Brad Davis how they intend to keep their momentum today.
Yeah, I guess that's a challenge. You know, we've won so many games so far, but I think that's been a trademark of ours. We've gone in and we've prepared really well, so there's no excuses. We know that, and we'll hopefully come out and play our best footy. That's our aim every week.
Spoken from a man that knows there is the pressure of performance today and every week for this team, which is the competition favourite. And certainly when you're playing the team second from the bottom of the ladder and you haven't lost all year, there is that little bit of expectation.
He certainly had an air of confidence about him too, that, they'd prepared well. He'll talk about that. We'll do our preparation. Everything will look after itself after that. So there's the Tweed Seagulls, undefeated. What a fantastic performance to date. They've got 17 games on the trot now, which is quite a feat.
And just 2 away from equaling Northern Pride's Queensland Cup record of unbeaten games in a row, as Shane Newman leads the East Tigers out into their home patch.
They always do well to promote their home games. See the footies, they throw them out to the crowd. They've got a great Tigers slippery side over here. Kids everywhere, so a great promotion. Desi Morris down in front of us here, the head honcho of the Tigers.
And I had a chat with Shane Newman and asked him what the key would be if they are to cause a boil over today.
I think today we're just going to have a bit of fun. We're going to try things we wouldn't usually try. We're just going to go out there and have fun, and anything can happen today. No one gives us a chance for today, but I think we give ourselves a chance.
So it can sort of go one of 2 ways there. It could be a disaster from one perspective. It could be a really big score, or there might be a tight game of footy.
But not a bad idea. I don't mind that from Troy McCarthy. They can't make the semis now, even mathematically. I think they're out of it. So go out and have a bit of fun, he said. See if they can do it.
Robert Gallagher in the middle. and Tony Maxud on the couch, or the plastic chair, as the case may be today, for our video referee. Hope you enjoy it with us. Perfect Saturday afternoon for Q Cup footy at Langlands Park. And the Tigers kick off. Tweed to have first possession in the game. And as ever, you just look at the top of the uprights at any footy ground you go to look at the flags. But of course here at Langlands Park, they are, well, stuck. They're metal, I'd assume. So we'll have to ask Warren as to the conditions at ground level.
Yeah, Quentin, just studying the trees at the moment. There's not much wind. It's a bit hard to pick it up. It was a slight southeasterly, I'd say. Here's Tweed away, Simpkins. Or Matthews it was.
Yes, it was a great run from Matthews. And now here goes Davis forward for Tweed. And they've got all the way to within 30 metres of the try line in the first couple of tackles of the game. Milligan works it there to King, an inside ball to Big Starling. And Starling tackled only about 28 metres out. King. And deciding to take the tackle there is Davis. Now back to King on 5 for the kick, cross field. And nicely taken by Dane Chisholm to defuse the bomb.
Well done by Chisholm, because he slipped. There's Brad Davis. He'll be pinpoint kicking all day, either bombing or grubber kicking or long kicks downfield. Nick out there trying to bust his way up. But nice work from Dane Chisholm. Goes up high. He was tied up because they were connected with the Melbourne Storm, the East Tigers, and Chisholm is one of those players who's been assigned up here. But having slipped, he then recovered and came back well. But the Tigers are finding it quite difficult to get out of their own territory easily. They've burnt 4 tackles and haven't got to the 20 yet. So you don't win all these games that the Seagulls have done without also having very good attack, as we've seen. They've caused the Tigers a bit of trouble early, but a great defence. Kick downfield there by Kaufman. Found a bit of space too, so he'd be happy enough with that. And Tommy Merritt picks it up comfortably, and he'll bring it back halfway between the 30 and 40 metre line. So the slight upper hand going with the Seagulls at the moment.
That attitude, we heard Shane Newman that the Tigers are bringing in this game to have a bit of fun. I think that works in attack to sort of release the tension from the team, throw it around. Here's a lost ball. That'll be a Tiger scrum feed.
Canning's the guilty party.
But where it goes wrong is in defence. You've still got to aim up in defence, otherwise a team like the Seagulls will chew you up.
Canning's there hit heavily, so that's a good sign for the Tigers. Hitting at the football and dislodging it. So
it was Anthony Boyd around the midriff there, and the for and against shows the story of the ladder position as well. Tweed Heads plus 248.
Hold the weight.
The Tigers minus 104. So Kaufman feeds and wins the scrum, and the Tigers to try and set up through Panapa here. That's the halfway line.
And that for and against, Tweed are higher than everyone in attack, and they're lower than everyone in defence. They've got both ends of it covered.
Nico going down the left there, linking with Morris. Brought in field by Holcomb, through hands, Panapa. Gets it on there to Thorpe. Taken about 24 metres from the try line. Holcomb marshalling dummy half, gets it to Kaufman. Nice cutout pass out to the right, but well read in defence there. It was a good tackle. Continuing to the right-hand side, brought back inboard, and I think that was Stevenson trying to burrow underneath there. He's only a couple of metres out. Kaufman with the kick. Who's the target? Well, there's a number of Tigers there, but well taken by Peru with his hands above his head to defuse the chip.
Taken on the full in goal area too, so it's going to be a goal line dropout. He's forced back into the in-goal area.
Came from the field of play. Yep. So, repeat set coming up for the Tigers.
Bit of pressure being applied to the undefeated top-of-the-table team. And the Tigers had a little bit of ball, and they've looked reasonably good with it too. So they're going to, as was said, have a bit of fun, and so far it's working. The big fella there in James Stosic brings it forward. Stosic with plenty of experience, 47 NRL games. This time, Harler. He's the brother of David Harler, Redcliffe Jr., and David Harler's played a bit for the Broncos this year. Scored that memorable try a few weeks ago. Holcomb working the dummy half. Charging run up the middle there again, I think it was Stosic. Set nicely left and right. Kaufman Throws a bit of a dummy, goes inside, coming out to the other side. Beautiful pass up then on the right-hand side. Is that Anthony Boyd?
Stevenson it is.
Stevenson, and he did the little signal bang. That's how we fire it off. And beautiful work here by Kaufman. Threatened the defence by having a go at them. And then Stevenson backed up beautifully from the fullback position. Let's have another look at it. Throws a bit of a dummy and then gets through. And nicely timed run then by Stevenson, supporting the break. And oftentimes it can fall down there if you're not alert to what was the unexpected. Nice work, Kaufman. Good balance as well as he stepped away from Rick Milligan.
Well, that's 10 tries for the season for Kevin Stevenson. And already the importance of having Kaufman back in the team shown with setting up that try, a deft kick to force the repeat set a moment ago. And I'm not quite sure what that try celebration is all about, but nonetheless, he's a happy man, and so too are the locals here. Important to get an early strike against the unbeaten competition leaders.
I always found the only way really to get out there and enjoy yourself was to win the game of footy, and they've got off to a flying start, the Tigers. Long way to go.
So 4-0 it is, and 6-0 it should be, with Chisholm to convert from just to the right of the uprights. He makes no mistake, and the Tigers get the start that they would have hoped for.
Yeah, and it was a very good step by Kaufman, wasn't it? I think it's Matthews that he beats, gets inside him and then quickly looks for support, and Stevenson times his run beautifully. It was pretty simple, just beating the front line of defence, but that pressure goes back to Cannings dropping the ball, and ever since then, East have been camped at the right end of the field.
And I think the try that the game needed as well from the umpire's perspective, with the Tigers well and truly up against it today. Great to see them get a positive start for the prospect of a close game as Stosic takes the ball up to the 20 off the kickoff. So important for those teams that are struggling to just believe early in a game against the competition pace centres, as Harlow is the next man to take it up, and now Holcomb out of dummy half. Almost found a bit of a hole around the marker defensive area there. Oh, strong tackle there from Simpkins.
Good effort from Davis to come from outside in. Saw the threat and shut it down.
Kaufman cleaning up that offload. Boyd just over the halfway on 5. Last play for the Tigers. Kaufman puts it up to the sky, and that's a pretty good take in the end. I don't know whether there's a lot of breeze, but it might be swirly there, and Ryan Milligan did well to just readjust his body and take that bomb.
Yeah, a bit of sou'wester, I think, blowing today, so it'll be a little bit tricky. But, of course, Shannon Walker has played a fair bit this year in the number 1 jersey as Selassie Birdie gets up over the 40-metre line. But, of course, the last time we saw the Seagulls play, Shannon Walker tore a hamstring. That'd have to be at least 6 weeks ago. They hoped he was going to be back this weekend, but not. So still awaiting his return as Josh Starling gets pushed back in some pretty good defence. Ryan was saying they've got to do it tough in defence. They've got to play hard in defence, as Matthews does well to stand in the tackle. Good pass out from King back. A little dummy by Brad Davis out there to James Wood. Puts a little bit of space to Wood, and he doesn't need much. Flick back on the inside's gone to the deck. Picked up by the Tigers. So they're getting a little bit fancy with the flick pass attempted back to Nathaniel Barnes.
Yeah, that pass was too low from Wood. It was down at his knees. The other player who's out of the Tweed Heads lineup is Kane Lawton. He's suspended for 2 weeks. He's a very handy dummy half, but he will return next week.
The flick pass was on, just couldn't be executed correctly. Now, Panapa, say the big fellow in 19, playing 5'8". Let's see if he can have some impact running on those fringes, albeit he has also distributed a bit as well, as Thorpe does then. Kaufman, pass through the hands of Stevenson, good pass on the outside to Newman. Newman in a bit of space, cuts back on the inside, doesn't look for support, took the tackle. Last tackle play it is too. Good kick here. They've got to get it to their playmaker. Run down the blind side by Boyd. He has to keep it alive. Newman couldn't handle it. Well, they got themselves into a spot of bother there. I think they initially looked for Isaac Kaufman for the kick. Boyd's in trouble as well. It's bad luck if he's got an injury right there. And really after the good bust, they needed to get the ball to Isaac Kaufman for the kick downfield. Couldn't find him.
Well, Boyd is going to cause play to be stopped here because the trainers have put their hands up, and Boyd tried to hobble from the field, but he's got a real issue with his left knee or thigh there.
Anthony Boyd's had a number of serious knee injuries, including a reconstruction, and he came back into this season late.
He's shaking his head. I think he realises that he's got some problems again. Gee, that didn't look like it twisted much.
It didn't look bad, did it?
No, hopefully he's just jarred it.
He felt the pain immediately.
Yeah.
One step, mate. Let's not go
Bad
on the
luck
whistles,
for Boyd. He was one of the youngest captains ever. He captained Norths at a very young age, so he's well regarded, Anthony Boyd.
He's already made a couple of good tackles and put in a good run or two in this game.
He's got a long way to hobble back from that far side of the field.
Well, the change has been made off for Dales on the field there, and is a part of that tackle, which sees the ball kept alive. And Birdie, a little flat-footed, cleans it up.
A little bit scrappy, the Seagulls.
So a couple of tackles left in the set. 35 metres out. Starling runs straight and almost through Big Harler, and well, he got past him in the end. Thorpe had to do the majority of the tackling there. Last play, Davis rushed at Grubbers for the in goal. Well cleaned up by Stevenson, who's got his confidence up, broke the first man but couldn't get through Wood, who makes the tackle. And a penalty now for Easts.
Yeah, he was pushed after he started in the action of playing the ball. And it's a good penalty, this, because too often players get shoved around. The ball came somewhat loose, but nice work from Stevenson. Scored that good try. He's a very good player, Kevin Stevenson.
The one player who's not out there for the Tigers today is centre Liam Campbell, struggling with a hamstring strain, been out for 2 weeks.
And just one other one, Warren too, and it's bad luck for Matt Grayeski. Matt's in hospital at the moment. He's got a problem with some, I think it's a white blood count. There's a good bust here by the Tigers. Pass back on the inside, couldn't be held. Picked up there by Matthews, straight up there to Cannings. Cannings does well. I'll come back to Matt Grayeski in a moment. Run out of dummy half there by Peru. Peru does well to make a bit of space to cause a bit of havoc. Tim McCann throws a dummy, goes himself almost through. McCann gets to the fullback but can't get past Stevenson. Try saver it was in the end. King to work to dummy half. Second man play up there to Davis. Back on the inside. Dangerous play here. Ryan Simpkins kept it alive as well. Back to Matthews. Good defence by the Tigers though. They kept coming forward. Even though there was a couple of loose passes, they weren't standing around waiting for it. Pass that time to Starling. Starling straight up. Nice work, Tigers. Can they hang on for 3 more? There's still the hard work to do. Pass up there to Davis. Long pass on the outside. Picked up on the bounce out there by Barnes. And he's dragged down on the 10. So the Tigers scrambling well. Back to Davis now. Long pass on the outside to King. Selassie Birdie back on the inside. Dummies him. Up there to Peru. The defence covers him well. Nico from outside in. Back to Davis. Chance here now. Davis got the man on the outside. Beautiful work. Tommy Merritt in the corner.
Well, he's claiming there's a knock on.
I reckon there was a knock on there as well. Davis had his back to the try line, but he still propelled the ball, in my mind, forward towards the line he was attacking. The try's awarded, and I'm going to be very keen to look at this replay because I think Davis has knocked it on. Even though his back was towards the try line, this is the telling piece of hand coming up next. That's knocked on, surely.
Near thing.
Yeah, I think he pulled it forward as well, myself.
Yeah. Well, he's got away with it. But good work after he did pick it up, and there's a debate about whether or not it does go forward. He does hook it around his body.
That's...
looked knock on there. But nice work then, Davis. Once he got the ball back in his hands, he then did well to draw in very close proximity and pop the pass up to Merritt. Here it is here. Let's have another look. Where is he relative to the line? Yeah, it's a knock on. But then he does well to just step in field and give a path for Tom Merritt to get across in the corner.
Well, it counts, and it's an important try for Tweed Heads after East scored the opener. The 8th of the season for Merritt, and the preferred side for Brad Davis, but a very tough kick from Hart on the right flank. Another terrific year from the 29-year-old Brad Davis. Game 128 in his Queensland Cup career, just the half dozen games at NRL level for the Titans. And that's a magnificent conversion Wonderful kick from Davis, 6-all.
Yeah, East had made a half break through a loose pass, and this is the end result. Tweed given a chance to attack. Davis goes wide out to King. Peru and Davis, King, I should say, actually have a mix-up there as Peru tried to go back to the outside late, but he does offload. Yeah, I thought that went forward, but then King delivers the last pass to Merritt, and there was some good football in it, even if there's a question over the try.
Yeah, well, the question over my call too was that, of course, I had Brad Davis doing all that good work. Of course, it was Matty King who did so well to actually ultimately set up that try. King playing in the number 6.
Short kick-off attempted by the Tigers, almost came off. Just kicked a metre too far.
Here's Selassie Birdie. About 6 metres his own side of halfway. King to the right for Peru. Keeps it alive, McCann. Birdie. And looking to get a quick play of the ball here. Does so, McCann, and he's got the run already in Matthews. Straight up the middle. And keeps it alive. McCann to the left. Davis. Milligan out to Barnes, and Barnes will get in, and that's a wonderful try. Beautiful work from the table-topping Tweed, and the short kick-off came to naught, and it's cost them points in a way, with Tweed scoring off that set to lead 10 points to 6.
And beautiful wing play here. Davis realising the chance was on the outside through the hands of Milligan, and then the winger hugging his touchline. Nathaniel Barnes, who was equal 6th top try scorer with about 4 other players, has now jumped into 5th in the all-time list of Queensland Cup try scorers. Nice work from Matthews to keep it alive through the hands of Davis. Milligan times in nicely, and then have a look at Nate Barnes just sitting out there on the wing waiting for the opportunity. Flashes down in the corner. Nice wing play, Warren.
Yeah, the finish was fine, but this is where it really starts, isn't it? Great work, strength there from Matthews. Quickly delivered out wider, and they created the overlap pretty easily there with, who was that drawn in there? Jane Chisholm was drawn in and left the wing open for a good finish from Barnes, and gee, he's scoring tries just at will, isn't he, this season? He's got 13 of them, even though he's missed 6 games.
And now to the cricketer's curse overall, 87 in the career, as David was speaking about, takes him to 5th on the overall Queensland Cup standings. One from the right flank, and now an attempt for Davis from the left flank. 10 metres in from touch. And again, a beautiful stroke. What a kick. 12-6, and in a twinkling of an eye, Tweed back in control here at Langlands.
Yes, East tried the short kick-off, but that conceded territory when they didn't get it back. It is Matthews. Will Matthews, because he's had a few games for the Titans last year, gets the offload. McCann keeps it going. Davis links up beautifully. Milligan, that's a great pass from Ryan Milligan. The fullback sized it up beautifully.
And now the real question of the Tigers after that early try and the quick hit back from Tweed. Some heavy work goes in on Starling there. Can the Tigers stop that second phase play with Tweed getting a number of offloads? Peru there hitting and spinning, but can't get through the tackle of Morris. Birdie. Well wrapped up. That's Harler over the top. Holcomb underneath. McCann, Starling, Cannings, and Matthews trying to get it away. Well, he did get it away, and it's been knocked on. So here's a chance for Easts with a scrum feed only 30 metres from the Tweed line.
Well, Matthews did pop the pass for the try a little bit earlier. He also tried then to keep it alive. So that second phase play, the offloads, we just saw that stat of 10 offloads already in 18 minutes. They're continuing that flavour, but every now and then it's not going to work for you. That was a near thing, that game, obviously. 6-point game, but the Tweed Heads only scored in the dying minutes to seal that. And Shannon Walker was the try scorer. So the Tigers, if they can think back that far, they were competitive in the early start of the season against a side who remains undefeated. Big Elijah Nick out, pushed back there in the tackle. Holcomb, pass up there to Offerdale. Keeps a blindside, a little bit of support, but only was after the territory. Panaper first receiver, there he is, goes to the line, throws a bit of a dummy, pops the pass up then to Harler, but the defence comfortably covering that, not a lot of sharpness about it. Kaufman throws a dummy, up there to Thorpe, but again some good defence coming across to shut them down. We saw a great effort in defence by the Melbourne Storm last night, and the Seagulls, they're trying to replicate it. Was that knocked back? The referee saying no. Knocked on, flicked through the fingers.
Knock on.
Always a tough one, that, whether or not it is forward or back, and there's only one man's decision that counts, and that's the man with the whistle. And picked up there by Stevenson after it gone through his fingers.
So a bit of a let-off, really, for the Tweed.
Nice and tight, please.
Tight in the history of these two teams. 18
Come
play,
together.
split 9 apiece.
Come together. Ball in, thanks.
But as Warren
Stay
spoke
there,
about in the
halfback.
opening of the
Not you.
broadcast, the last time that
Stay
Tweed
there.
Heads have won
Yep.
here at Langlands Park was 2007. So the Tigers, from that perspective, have got a pretty good record of recent times on their own patch against Tweed, with Wood now in possession, midway between his try line and the halfway. And blindside they go. McCann, well read by Kaufman, but he couldn't finish him off. So it allows Cannings to go forward and gain a few more metres. He is a big man, Aaron Cannings. Matthews. Down low, Gibson. Holcomb around the chest. Out to the left-hand side. Wood on that good angle, but well read. Nice pass from Simpkins, but Wood was wrapped up. I think Thorpe was the primary tackler there. Now Davis, Damien King putting it down. And scrum feed for the Tigers.
It's all about timing on those plays as Davis goes across a couple of dummies. Just put the timing out, and King couldn't handle the pass when it finally got to him. But they've been dangerous, just slightly in behind him. And a bit of defensive traffic in front of him as well.
It's been an interesting move this season to have Matt King playing at 5'8", but it's been a smart move. The experience of the half and 5'8" have just been dominant. Their combination, it's rare that they have a misunderstanding as they just did. They go right back to the great premiership win of Tweed Heads in the Queensland Cup, because Matt King went off to South Logan for a couple of years, but he's back playing well.
And of course, that was 2007 when Tweed won it. And who was the coach that day? East Tigers coach here today, Troy McCarthy. So he'd have strange feelings about coming up against a club that he coached to a premiership.
Well, there's so many players from that premiership back in this Tweed season of 2011. I don't think there's any coincidence that that's one of the reasons why they've started the season so well.
And of course, we've only got about 5 odd games to go after this one, so they're well and truly in. There's Troy McCarthy, son of Bobby McCarthy, of course, and picked up there by Panapa. And finally wrapped up. Actually, again, a bit of interest, a bit of trivia that both coaches had fathers who played for New South Wales and Australia. Chris Anderson, of course, and Bobby McCarthy, who are the really good players of that 60s and 70s.
Last tackle.
Keeping the right up there to Stevenson. Little grubber kick through as well. Forced back there. Matthews, he didn't pick it up. Knocked on, I thought, by the Tigers. Picked up, though, quickly by Merritt. Merritt dashes away, so the Tigers...
Lost it.
It's lost it again. Knock on Tweed.
And it all started with a crossfield kick from Kaufman for Chisholm. And just a bit short out on that right-hand side with the defensive left from Tweed. There's the knock-on from, well, I don't think it was knocked on from Matthews, but he wasn't able to gather it. But they called Matthews for a knock-on there?
No, I think they've gone back to this particular incident here where it gets ultimately knocked on.
Okay. Because I didn't think that Matthews had knocked it on.
I thought the Tigers might have knocked on even after Matthews knocked back, but maybe they played an advantage from there, and ultimately the Seagulls knock it on. And great chance for the Tigers.
They're just waiting for a football, I think, here.
And just talking about Brad King a moment ago, I should say Matt King, I'm almost certain, David, he was playing hooker for Tweed Heads when they won the comp in 2007, wasn't he?
He sure was. And Tim McCann was the halfback, and Brad Davis at 5'8". Dummy there from Kaufman. Almost through, turning over. I think he's made it. Isaac Kaufman, base of the scrum. Whoa, what a great re-inclusion. Kaufman has been back into this side. He's back from injury. He set up the first try with a good bust. He scored the second one from the base of the scrum. And it takes a fair bit these days to score out of the base of the scrum. The defences, especially near the scrum, are normally so good. Selassie Birdie, perhaps a little bit late out of there. The right back rower. And this dummy by Hoffman perhaps just caused Birdie to hold for a second. And then he went again and gets in under the sticks. We've got a tied up ball game with this kick. And 12 all, this will give a lot of confidence to the Tigers. They came here to have some fun today, just like the kids on that Tiger slide at the back there.
Well,
everyone's having fun.
I'm sure Tweed wouldn't like to see their unbeaten record slide away from them today, but 12 all looms with this kick from straight in front from Chisholm, and indeed he's got 2 from 2, 2 tries apiece, 2 conversions apiece, 12 apiece through 25 minutes.
Yes, Isaac Kaufman has missed a couple of weeks with a hamstring strain, but he's back and he makes his presence felt, running from dummy half through the dummy, rolls and gets it down. Good individual effort, just that instinct when the defence is just going to hang off, to go for it yourself. That is great work by Isaac Kaufman. He at his best, he is just unstoppable. He has some marvellous games for the Tigers.
But it's great, Warren, to see him using that running game. He's sort of at the back end of his career now, and was a hell of a player as a young kid. Probably spent more time passing and kicking in recent years.
Well, not even 50% for Tweed with the completion rate, and that's something that Ben Anderson would be concerned about. And again, willingness to try and run the ball from inside their own half. Offerdale going cross-field, but still going forward, and that was a pretty good run from Offerdale in the end. Nico pops the pass up to Morris. A dozen his own side of halfway. Panipa keeps it moving. Kaufman with a long floating ball out to Thorpe. Out the back to Newman. Keeping it alive. Gibson. Linking up there with the try scorer Stevenson, who's just his own side of halfway. A nice work out of dummy half there from Holcomb to link up with Kaufman. Kaufman got the pass away, but it was, oh no, I should say Kaufman taking the ground, but it comes back for a Chisholm bomb. And Milligan does well to just adjust his feet at the last moment. It looked like he was stuck there for a moment. The ball dipped forward of him, but he leaned well to ensure he didn't cough it up.
Certainly a towering kick, so he did well. He had to adjust at the last moment, so there's a bit of wind around. He does well, Milligan, to cover it. Towering kick it was from Chisholm as Selassie Birdie gets it up over the 40-metre line. 12 all we've got it at the moment. Charging run here by Jake Leary. Ooh, good run it was too, well over the halfway line. And they're rolling the Tigers back. Want to drop their guard, the Tigers. They've done well to get it to this point. Little short ball. To, was it Matthews? Yes. Out here to King. Crossfield kick. Straight up in the air though. The Tigers would do well to leave it, but they decide they're going to have a go at it anyway. Nice work it was too. Chisholm on that right wing, but can't get away from Selassie Birdie. And finally found a mark that he couldn't get away from. There's a dash here by Nico, so the two wingers running in tandem off the initial kick. Newman will run out of dummy half. So they're playing a little bit safer here. Be happy with their position. There's Stosic, almost up to the halfway line. A few of the crowd pretty happy with that, with a bit of a round of applause. Panipa decides to have a go at them. Puts the basketball pass out the back, up there to Holcomb. Holcomb pops it out there to Nico. Teammates told him to stay in, he does well. Pass up there to Ohio. Look out, close to the touchline, through it.
Into the face of Matt King, and I think the touch judge...
He won't have played at it on that basis, so loose head and feet to Tweed.
Let's have a look at the replay. I think he got him right in the nose. Or in the side of the head, in fact.
Junior Ohio there, he got the arm free momentarily. If he'd had someone in place to fly down the wing and take the pass, they would have been away, but that momentary hesitation, no support, because they'd already had a shot down that side and retreated, and he left himself vulnerable. They came in numbers to put him over the sideline. And
Panipa's just receiving a bit of attention for their scrum packs.
Yeah, he threw that little basketball pass, the one-hander out the back, and would have been in a fairly awkward position, vulnerable to heavy grounding. He's a big lad.
That seems okay to continue.
Wearing 19 because number 6 didn't fit him.
Seconds in.
I'm glad you said it, David.
Hold their half back. Come together. Ball in.
So Tweed being challenged here by the Tigers, who have scored the first and most recent tries in the game. 2 tries in quick succession for Tweed. Very strong defence there from Nico on Milligan. Starling rolls forward. Should I say it was Thorpe with the hit. Simpkins over the halfway. Starling again. And Selassie Birdie having a rest. As Tweed rumble to within 30 metres or so of the try line and beyond for Leary. Only about 25 out. Last play here. Davis, long ball to Peru. The grubber ricochets off Ohio, not played at, still the last tackle. So Davis goes with the grubber. He's got Barnes coming through, but Chisholm reads it well and tries to do a dance around the chasers, but eventually they get to him and will thump him into the turf.
Big set of 6 here from the Tigers. They want to get themselves away from this pressure and get off the roundabout. The big fellow Thorpe, I think it is, can't get over the 10-metre line. Want good quick play the balls and some sharp running. Pass it backwards, not necessarily deliver you that opportunity. Play the ball there by Stosic. Offerdale. Almost to the 30 on 4, so it's going to be a defensive kick if they can't pull something out of the bag here. Panapa, we've already shown he can offload, he does so. Play on it is, wasn't touched either. Holcomb's, they've got a hold of him. It wasn't just clear enough that Holcomb could dash away from that pack. He got wrapped up, last tackle play. Cotton will need one of his better kicks here. That's pretty well defined space, but it bounces up. That allows Milligan to easily cover it. A little bit of a dummy to Barnes. Goes himself onto the outside. Turns it back on the inside to James Wood. They are putting a bit of deception in their back 3 play. Barnes taking the dummy from the fullback, decided he better now do his bit. He does well. Almost to the halfway line. Ryan Simpkins. And the Tigers there to accommodate him. He's sat flat on this left-hand side and a little bit deeper on the right. Tim McCann breaks out, lost it, knock on. And good work there from Thorpe to be persistent in the tackle. McCann looked like he was going to dash away from the dummy half position, and Thorpe forced the error.
Well, this has been tight stuff and interesting from the perspective of the way the Tigers are playing. We heard that Newman said, yeah, well, we're going to have a go today. And Warren, you made a very good point. Yeah, it's okay when you've got the ball to just throw it around, but it seems like they have manned up in defence.
Yeah, look, I think it's been a high-quality game so far. Been a couple of errors, but I think there's been some enterprising football. There's plenty of intensity. It's a good physical struggle. And while Easter close, I think they're going to keep coming hard. If Tweed can slip away, score a couple of tries in a row and maybe lead by 6 or 10 or 12 points, then all of a sudden East might just let up. But I think while they're close, they'll keep coming hard.
Well, Panapa with another good offload there a moment ago, and Gibson stumped on this occasion. That's Henaway on the field. It was a dummy half there. Stevenson ricochets out of one, but couldn't get away in the end. Simpkins making the tackle. And Stevenson slow to his feet, and penalty East.
A little bit of pushing and shoving in the play the ball, and
James Wood, the offender.
This is a pretty handy penalty for the Tigers. Second one they've got with a bit of interference in the play the ball.
I just don't know whether the 2 points is the way they're thinking about playing the game today. And, yep, they've gone for touch as much as seemed within range for Chisholm.
It's the right decision. They'll need as many points as they can get.
Well, they've got the football and good field position to try and put on another try close to half-time. Stosic with the run, now off a Dahl. Offloading. Henaway. Taken to ground. About 15 metres out. Gibson works the right-hand side, almost got beyond Kaufman. Nice hand, Stevenson. Overlap, but a flat-footed Chisholm, who, well, is going to create something from nothing and might score a try. No, it's gone dead in goal, or in touching goal, should I say. But, well, he was a lamppost for a moment, and then he turned into a jiving footballing machine.
He was a bit unlucky. That bounce just went away from him. A bit of luck, it would have continued forward. But talk about stop-start play. Chisholm paused and the players just looked at him for a while, and then he dashed away. It almost came off.
0 to 100 in half a second.
He's a good player, Dane Chisholm. He's versatile as well. He's played a number of games at 5'8" this season. In fact, East have had players like Matt Minto at 5'8", Luke Kelly at 5'8". They've had a number of changes. Minto's gone back to Rockhampton apparently, and Luke Kelly's out with an injury.
Up and away.
And, too much lying over in the play the ball there by young Morris, Lance Morris. This will help the Seagulls launch an attack. I think the selection of Leon Paniper at 5'8's working for him so far, Warren.
Yeah, he's strong and he's a handful, and he's keeping the Seagulls defence occupied.
Yeah, he's offloaded a couple of really good balls, but when he's been required just to shift it through the hands, he's done that as well. Rod Griffin, the Papua New Guinea international, knocked to the turf. Set at about 20 degrees on this left-hand side. Pass up there to Matthews, who does like to offload, but good defence over the top there by Offerdale. Make sure he can't offload. McCann up to Davis, back on the inside. Good pass to Simpkins, but plenty of defence there. Thorpe in there. The main defender. McCann, a couple of dummy runners, up to Matty King, up to Rod Griffin, steps, goes himself. The defence gets to him. A couple of metres out. Set up left is King. Couple of dummy runners, straight then to Leary. Last tackle play. There's their playmakers. A little bit of confusion there. Matty King, crossfield kick, good one it is. Chisholm will have to have a go. It does nicely, Chisholm.
Oh, geez, been good in
well
the air
done,
today.
as he ever. Couple of great takes under pressure. They did well to get out of that, the Seagulls, because I think they were trying to get it to Davis, but young King got a surprise ball, did a good kick as well. Nice work from Chisholm.
Confident leap. He took a couple of steps, he assessed it in the air, never took his eyes off the ball, and that was a fine take. And a bit of space out of dummy half here. Henaway, well, almost got his head taken off. There's Chisholm, who defused that previous bomb. And now Nico picked up and dumped by Simpkins. Last play. Not much field position to create from here, so Kaufman goes with a kick downfield. Merritt takes it on the full. Wall of orange in front of him, so he just tries to charge through it. He can't. Junior are higher with a bit of the wrestle there within the confines of the law. Peru.
Watch the break play.
So 3 minutes and change left in this first half. 12 all. The second last place Tigers serving it up to the unbeaten Tweed Heads. Leary 38 metres out as he plays the football. Danger times here for Easts, close to the break. Out they go to Milligan, gets it to Wood. Wood runs inboard. About 18 metres out. Second to last play here. Simpkins keeps it alive. Davis knocked on by Matthews, and the Tigers survive again.
Yeah, their timing hasn't been spot on there on a couple of occasions. Davis fired that one to Matthews, who was coming straight and hard. Defence had him covered as well, so I don't think they were under great threat of being busted. But a couple of occasions, those fading half runners, fading across field, picking up straight runners. Hasn't worked for him.
Yeah, of course, Will Matthews has been out injured for much of the year. He's been back a few weeks now, though, and he's shown glimpses of his very best, putting that pass down.
Signed with St George next year, Will Matthews, so he'll be heading down to the Dragons. Won't be coached by Wayne Bennett, of course, but
Steve Price.
And delaying in the play of the ball is going to allow the Tigers another penalty. Trying to get away was Newman, but he was trapped.
Well, if they want to have some fun, they've got 2 minutes to do it in this half, and that means they don't have to worry too much about Tweed coming back at them.
Yes, they can really have a genuine go at scoring points here. There it is, around the legs.
Well, no, James Wood, again, for putting his hand around the face of a player looking to play the ball. There's nothing too much in it, but he's given away another penalty there, and Kaufman trying to create from inside his own half, goes back to the right-hand side. Gibson
Where was Kaufman's support then? He had 4 players outside him with about 2 defenders, but they were far too deep, these support players.
Up the middle goes Thorpe. Quick play the ball too. Hen away. Well read by the marker defence. That was good work from McCann in particular there. Kaufman. Panapa. Morris. Well wrapped up. Inside the last minute. Perhaps the Tigers' last crack at the Tweed line in this first half. Panapa with the grubber. I think that was played at. And what's the referee going to say here? I think that Matt King definitely moved his arm to play at that.
He's not going to award it, though. He's going to give loose head and feet to the Seagulls.
Let's have a look on the replay. Oh, well, it was his leg getting across. Yeah, I think the referee's probably made the right call as much as... I don't know. Just looking at it the first time, it looked like there was a deliberate movement to cover the line of the ball. Whether that's playing at the ball or not, Warren, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and the clock's been stopped. The Seagulls smart packing the scrum. That gives them a couple of plays here. Either one big one off the scrum or just work for a second.
Well, this would break the hearts of the locals if they could score here. And a little grubber goes through. That's got to be a penalty, surely. Tigers have got the football. They might score on the counter. Well, who was taken out there? Was that Merritt going through? Referee's going to give a penalty to the Tigers now.
2 points now.
Up and away.
2 points now. Your best chance for points in this second half, in this first half.
You're right, Quentin. There was a Tweed player chasing that kick taken out. He was hit coming through.
Now, was it? Yeah, it was Merritt who made the grubber. Now that's got to be a penalty. And now Brad Davis rightly asking that question.
Yeah, I don't know. They can't disappear.
What are you doing?
Oh,
He was in the motion.
no, Stephen Thorpe moved to knock him over, David.
But he was moving to make the tackle.
He was
in the first
moving to stop him.
No, he came too close to the line. You deserve that.
I think he could have glanced off him, David. I think he made sure his shoulder made good contact.
Just a glancing play there.
Yeah. Well,
But they made the right decision. Yeah, take the 2, get your head in front at half-time.
And wouldn't that be a confidence booster?
what's your decision at home? I think we've said enough.
He's moving in to make the tackle. No, he's too close to the line to pull out.
I'll just leave it
Get
to...
these backs getting close to the line.
I'll leave it to Simon and Garfunkel. The sounds of silence. Now, Chisholm for the halftime lead. This would be something if the second last place Tigers could lead the unbeaten Tweed Heads at halftime on their home patch. Can Chisholm put them in front? Yes, he can. And a telling couple of points, controversial, although it may have been, with Easts getting that penalty right on half-time, and at the break, it's the Tigers 14, leading the Seagulls 12.
And with me is Ross Livermore. Ross is stepping down from his position as Managing Director of the QRL after more than 30 years at the top, Ross. What a great reign it's been. What's been the most satisfying, I guess, sections of that time?
Oh, well, I suppose, Warren, State of Origin, you would have to say, is the pinnacle of rugby league in Queensland, and the success that we've had in the last 6 years has certainly been a great thing to go out on. But look, I'm really conscious of the way we've developed the game throughout the state. We've restructured our divisions, we've restructured our board now. We've kept abreast of things that needed to happen, and I'm comfortable at leaving it in good hands.
The Queensland Cup's now in its 16th season. I think everyone regards it as a success, but where to now for the Queensland Cup? Does it just stay the same, or does it change and expand even?
I think it will expand in the next couple of years. There's another year to run on the current sponsorship, but I know P&G are keen to get back into it, and I know Toowoomba are making advances to come into the 20s, and hopefully within a year or so I'll be back in it. So if we get them, we've got all the key points covered on the eastern seaboard.
In the past 12 months, some of the QRL clubs, or the Queensland Cup clubs, have, they've basically said, I think, that they wanted a bigger say at the QRL table. Now, you've made a number of changes. What's your message to the clubs now?
Well, they've got their director on the board, and he gave an assurance to the board at the last meeting that they'll all be applying to play in the comp next year, despite rumours that are flying. And We've now also appointed a club's general manager, and he's a very experienced guy from New South Wales, and I'm sure his role will really get the clubs in the area that they should be, and they'll all apply and be successful, I'm hoping.
Now, where do you see the Queensland Cup, and for that matter the New South Wales Cup, as being? Are they the second tier to the NRL, or is it the under-20s comp through the NRL?
Well, I think if you know anything about rugby league, you'll see that this is the second tier. The under-20s is a touch football competition. It's based on speed and see how many tries you can score. But I really think from 2013 onwards, they should put the under-20s back under the banner of the Queensland Cup sides. And then the local A grade, as played now, would become a Brisbane Rugby League competition. So you'd have the Queensland Cup sides would be that, have the under-20s, 18s and 16s that we play, the Meninga and Connell Cups.
Now, the Independent Commission, the commissioners have been named. It's nearly here. How do you think rugby league is going to be different in Queensland as a result of the Independent Commission, and how is the QRL going to be different?
Well, I don't think it'll be any different in Queensland other than we'll have more money. Come 2013, I'm talking about, when the new TV deal comes in, and make no mistake, there's a lot more money needed to be put into the game here. You see what the AFL are doing. They just saturate the development areas. We know we can't compete with them at the moment, but give us the money and we will. We were great advocates of the Commission. We've got 2 guys that we nominated on there. I think it's a great thing at the top, but when it comes down to the states, we'll do exactly what we've been doing before.
Will the grassroots continue to be looked after by an independent commission?
Yeah, they will. They will. That's part of the deal, and that's part of the agreement that we've signed off on.
It seems strange that the day that the Independent Commission was named, we also saw an NRL meeting where they were announcing changes to the representative schedule and origin schedule and salary caps. Is this the NRL, the existing NRL, and the clubs getting in first? Isn't that something that should be the Independent Commission's territory?
Exactly right, exactly right. And what should happen now is the NRL reference should be forgotten. There'll be an NRL competition, that's all there'll be. And all the staff and all the talk will be the Independent Commission. David Gallop will work for them, and so will all the staff. So any time we talk, we should say the ARL, not the NRL. And I think the sooner they realise that and get all behind it, it'll work, all right.
Ross, if you were starting out again right now, what would your priorities be?
Probably to do more of what we're doing at the moment and being able to sort of foster the grassroots area. That's what I started off doing, and there was one Origin game played when I came, and it's just developed. Matt, look, we've got to have, it's the flagship of the thing. Don't let no one hide behind anything. That is the game that people want to see. And we're very fortunate, and that's what I've said to the Commission people. We've got to continue to run the game in Queensland. Origin I'm talking about. We've got to select the teams, and if you try to take that away and pick 2 teams out of the NRL or have one overall sponsor where we've got 4X, they've got someone else, it won't work. So more of the same I'd be doing.
Well, Ross, enjoy retirement. On behalf of everyone at the ABC, thanks very much for your cooperation over the years. I really thank the ABC for the role they're doing, and the number of people that watch this telecast throughout Queensland's amazing. And, you know, to think that some of the clubs say, oh, gee, it's a bit of an impost, we're not getting the crowds from when you have the ABC coverage. Forget all that. It's an essential part of the game. Good on you. All the best for the future. Thanks very much, Ron.
Ross Livermore there, swinging punches as he leaves a wonderful era in Queensland football. Let's have a look at the other matches in what is a split round 17. There's only one other game this weekend, and that is tomorrow at Shark Park in Mackay, where the Cutters will try and upset the Dolphins. Then next week, we'll be at Bishop Park for our feature game between the Devils and the Bears, so a pretty important clash for both of those teams there. The Northern Pride, the Premiers, take on the up and down and roundabout Ipswich Jets. They've had a very interesting season with the Walker brothers at the helm. The improving Sunshine Coast Eagles, can they get another win at home to South's Logan? That's a Sunday game, and also 3 o'clock next Sunday out at Cougarai Oval, Wynnum Manly taking on the Central Comets. Here, East's 14, Tweed Heads 12 at half-time. Gentlemen.
And who would have believed it, Warren, against a side that's undefeated in the season thus far, the Tweed Seagulls down by 2 points. They deserve to be in front, the Tigers.
At the beginning of the season, we wouldn't have been that surprised because I think we had great hopes for the Tigers. The question hanging in the air, like the elephant in the room, is why aren't they higher up the ladder? And I'll be asking the coach that in a minute. But look, today they've been very competitive. They come out firing. They are showing a little more enterprise and attack, but they've got the starch in defence as well. Yeah, they have. They got off to the start they wanted, the Tigers. They got the try in the early minutes, the 5th minute of the game. Isaac Kaufman back from injury, makes a bit of a bust. Beautiful back up there by Stevenson to bring it around and improve the position. They got a 6-0 start after 5 minutes. It was a good step by Kaufman, wasn't he? Got inside Matthews, and then support arrives in Stevenson. Stevenson started the game on fire, and he was right in position there. Yeah, nice work. Kaufman, as we say, has been out for a while, and I like the way he's taken the ball to the line. A couple of occasions he's troubled the defence. He's got a very good passing and kicking game, and he made sure he used his running game as well, and Stevenson signals to the crowd. This is a good effort here by the Tweed, albeit there was some suggestion there could have been a knock-on. Peru back then to Matty King. That was the suspect little drop ball. He does well, though, King, to pop it up to Merritt, and they get their first try. Yeah, Davis shifts it out. King and Peru get a little mixed up here. Peru goes back to the outside at the last minute and manages to break away from the tackle, pops the pass up. That's where it looked to me as if it was knocked on, and over goes Merritt to score. But look, East did complain about this, and I was surprised that the referee didn't go to the video ref. And obviously the touch judge and the referee both thought that this play here from King, they thought that was okay. I thought it was pulled forward. Yeah, definitely a knock on. They got away with it. A great conversion by Davis to put them at 6 points all. Warren, a couple of times there, those dummying runs by both halves, by Matty King and by Davis, a feature of their play. Dummy inside out and then pick up a straight runner. Hasn't always come off for them with precision, but it's part of their good build-up. Yeah, it's part of the good build-up, as you say, and I think the other player who's chimed in nicely when it has gone wide has been Milligan. His timing has been good. Yeah, he has. So both fullbacks, Milligan and also Stevenson, have been very impressive. But if you're looking for good, impressive winger tries, the next one was a beauty again. They put the ball through their hands, out there to Milligan, who does well to cut out Wood, fires it up there to Nate Barnes, and he scores another to become the 5th equal top try scorer. Nice work, Matthews, pops it out the back, keeps it alive through the hands of McCann. Davis just knew when to let one dummy runner go, and then nice work out to Barnes. He knows how to finish. Well, that's perfect, isn't it? A strong forward offloads. McCann quickly shifts it out wide, and then look, here's Matthews ripping in nicely. Unable to be contained by 3 tacklers. McCann just quickly links it, realised the opportunity was wide. Davis holds the pass back. Milligan feeds it at just the right moment, and Barnes will finish that kind of try all day long. It's his 13th try of the season, and he's probably scored more tries than games this season. Yep, the Tigers were down by 12 points to 6, but Isaac Kaufman again, great run out of the base of the scrum, little bit of a dummy, and he was good enough to go all the way. A little bit of luck before the scrum, but they got the scrum feed, and Kaufman made them pay, went for himself, and the penalty goal just before half-time gave the Tigers the lead. Yeah, good lead too by them, seeing they were the underdogs at 14 points to 12. Let's have a look at their stats from the first half. And, well, penalties favouring the home side by 4-1. Scrums favour them, possession favours them, time in possession, line breaks, not much in that, albeit there's been 11 offloads each, and then tackled in opposition 20. So certainly the stats on that sheet favour the Tigers. Yeah, and look, Tweed Heads did make a few handling errors early on, 7-3, and that's why their completions were down just a touch. But they tightened up as the half went on. And the other thing, I thought they were prepared to do the hard yards through the middle rather than just go wide early. So I think they've got their minds on the game. It's going to be a big second half coming up. Tigers throwing plenty at them. Tweed still go to the second half as favourites. Yeah, they definitely do. 11 offloads each, as we can see on that sheet. So there's been plenty of intent from both sides to keep it alive. And I think the Tigers, well, they could just be about to do an upset here. Who knows? We'll be back in a moment with all the action.
Well, it's a wonderful scene here, and I'm sure not only the kids enjoying Langlands Park, but the hardened fans that have been through a pretty tough season are enjoying what they're seeing so far, with the Tigers leading by 14 points to 12 at half-time. Easts have got a trip to Rocky to take on the Central Comets next week, and then they'll be back here in round 19 against winner Manly.
while Tweed Heads have got the border derby against Burleigh at Pizzy next week before hosting the improving Sunshine Coast Seagulls as the two teams return to the field of battle. Tries to Isaac Kaufman and Kevin Stevenson for Easts, with Barnes and Merritt scoring for Tweed. Later on today on ABC One, make sure you tune in to the continuation of the battle on the border at Mulwamma, the International Tri-Series Super Series Bowls with the men's singles today, featuring Australia up against England. 5 o'clock on ABC One today. So the players back out there, and that controversial penalty right on half-time, giving Easts that 2-point lead. Can they hold on against the unbeaten Tweed? They're trying to make it 18 in a row unbeaten. 16 weeks unbeaten this season, one last year. Second half begins, and the Tigers to have first possession. So just to reiterate, the nature of the upset, could they pull it off? East's 4.5 wins for the year, Tweed 15.5 through 16 weeks. So they're unbeaten this year. They had a win at the end of last year. And if they win today, they are but one game away from equaling the Northern Pride's record of 19 weeks unbeaten in Queensland Cup. And that was actually set earlier this year. Pride eventually losing to Mackay in round 8, stopping that unbeaten run at 19. So the Tigers with the footy, and Kaufman driving it downfield. Taken comfortably by Milligan. And he offloads to Merritt. And Merritt pushed back about 22 metres from his own line. Let's hear from the East's coach, Troy McCarthy, with Warren.
Well, Troy, I guess the question is, are we having fun? Shane Newman said that before the game you said that you wanted them to go out there and have some fun today.
Well, that's what it's all about, footy. I mean, enjoyment. The more you enjoy it, the better you play, I feel. So trying to get that right environment.
And does that, I mean, in the position you are on the ladder, you want them to release the shackles? What do you mean?
Oh, basically, you just want to come out and play footy. You know, you can you get caught in a trap where you get your beat while you're starting to tighten up. So you've got to be really relaxed and let the ball do the work.
Now, were you happy with that first half then?
Yeah, basically, I thought had a chance there to really dominate it, but we'll take the 2 points at this stage in front.
A little unlucky on one try. Did you think that went forward from Tweed?
I was sitting behind the play, so it looked a bit sus, but anyway, we'll take it and go on with it.
I guess the big question, you know, I don't know whether you've been able to put your finger on it, but what's gone wrong for the Tigers? You, of course, had high hopes, but you find yourself down the bottom of the ladder.
Basically, those well, we had a few injuries there, but also you know, not making excuses. We kind of get in the habit of just trying to get through our game, but we haven't got that. When we get through the tough times, we haven't got that player to pull us out of the, you know, to do something great for us. So you know, we're realistic, and we're trying to trying to progress our game.
Do you think if you had Brad Davis in your side, you'd be up in the top 6?
Could be. He's probably one of the best players in the game, but Isaac Kaufman's really stood up this year, I thought, for us. We tried a new halves combination with Leon Panapa. He seems to have real good ball skills there, and he takes the line on. Exactly what we're after.
Yeah, it's been a success that so far. So at half-time, what was the message to get this win over the line at the end?
Well, basically, we've got to stop their second phase. I think they're trying to finish out when they come through the middle there. And also with the ball, I think we can keep our ball moving up. You know, I think there might be a result there through the middle as well.
Good on you, Troy. Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, the Tigers having to do plenty of defending while we're hearing from their coach. A repeat set here, and Davis with a run-around play. Wood has got support, and he doesn't need it. He'll go in. He'll score out in the left. He had Barnes if he needed him on the left wing, but, well, at the end of that second set, or the repeat set there, Davis linking with Wood, and James Wood scores his 8th try of the season to put Tweed back in front.
Nice little set piece here. The little run-stop play there. Pops the pass back up to Davis, and then nice work, James Wood. Shed a couple of tackles. He was confident enough. He didn't need Nathaniel Barnes. Have a look at the run-stop play. The big front, the front runner there, stops at the defence. Davis wrapping around. That's all part of a little set piece. They would have said, this is how we're going to run this. Have a look. There's Davis, flicks it up, and immediately back then from Ryan Simpkins. And James Wood good enough to beat a couple of desperate attempts to tackle. Chisholm was always struggling after that little RS play, the little run-stop play. And it's not like in years ago, we used to have the little wraparounds where the player would just stand still and wrap. You've got to run forward, stop before you get to the defence, and then have the wrap.
Well, let's get inside the Tweed camp. Warren.
Yes, Peter Upton, the assistant coach to Ben Anderson, is with me from Tweed Heads. Good time to arrive too. And look, you made very good use of Will Matthews in the first half, and there's Ryan Simpkins doing some damage out just a little wider.
Yeah, it's excellent to see a great start like that. It's just what we needed in this half. We were sort of behind the 8 ball in the first half there a bit, so to come up with a try this early in the half's excellent work. Those two guys, Will and Ryan, have been putting in an extra effort today too, so it's very good to see, mate, going well.
Yeah, a couple of handling errors as Brad Davis lines up this conversion, and they all count today.
And he's just missed it.
Yeah, Warren,
so 16-14, Tweed.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, just does handling mistakes early on, but then the team seemed to knuckle down.
Mate, our completions were just over 50% for the first half, so it's not a good start. We got about 8 from 15, I think was the name, and last week it was 16 from 18. So we've certainly dropped off in that area. We did improve towards the end of the half, so the call at half-time was basically really knuckle down and get back to the basics.
You can't really complain about a team that's unbeaten for the season, just the one draw, but then is that sort of little monkey just crawling up your back saying, when is the loss coming?
To be honest, Warren, we haven't been talking about it at all. I don't know what's in the back of guys' heads, but we don't focus on that at all. We just focus on one game at a time and playing week to week, and I suppose that's part of our success, or part of the reason for our success.
Yeah, it's a team effort you've got going, very strong across the park. Brad Davis is obviously a very valuable player.
You just can't underestimate the value that he gives to the team, mate. He, week in, week out, he's there guiding the team around and just does such a great job as it.
On a bit of a roll now, you've hit the front 16-14, got a penalty here. Any other instructions from Ben at half-time?
Again, it was just get back to basics. It was really focus on getting out of our half, playing the game down this end, so they've got to work out of there. We've got a bit of a breeze behind us, so we'll try and use that this half, but realistically it's the usual things, you know, winning the play the ball, controlling the ball, completing our sets.
Thanks, Peter.
No problems.
Peter Upton, the assistant coach to Ben Anderson.
Thanks, Warren. And beneficiary of that penalty again, Tweed in good attacking position as Matthews plays the football, and again Davis orchestrating play. Simpkins very similar to that previous play, but Simpkins tackled this time. Quick play the ball. McCann through hands, it goes to Wood. Nelson with the offload there, but Wood couldn't get over. Milligan. Davis rushed at, and that's a great piece of defence from McCann and Gibson. Last play. King. All the way out to Griffin, and the little kick is well read by, is that Tahala out there? No, it wasn't. It was Junior Ohio taking that, and Easts diffuse the danger.
Yeah, they did well to save the day there. Up there to the big fella in Stosic. Little grubber kick through there by Griffin. Well picked up there by Ohio. And Nico still trying to pick up a few extra metres. There's Rod Griffin. He put that kick in a little bit early. Offerdale with plenty of pressure on him. He decides to keep it alive. Up to Stosic, tries to get on the outside, but again, the defence just so harassing. Even when they pop that ball, they're not getting into open space, which is what they're trying to do. Panapa, he offloads nicely up there. I think it was to Stevenson. He's working up to try and support. And Kaufman looking for space, can't get it. Nice work, Milligan. Ryan Milligan on the fingertips.
Kaufman knocked over after the kick, but I think, again, David, you definitely would think he was committed.
Well, he was looking to get that over the head there and go for the 40-20. He was well inside his 40.
Let's have a look at this one. Was there a commitment before he got there? No, I reckon he probably did carry on. This time, the Seagulls there through Simpkins. Could have pulled out of that altogether, albeit it was only just a slight bumping into him. He milked it a bit, Coppin. Corey Nelson up the middle, or Cody Nelson. Ken, who's had a lot of time at the dummy half. Up there to Matthews, had a strong game, Will Matthews. And up another 10 metres. Back-to-back tries will put some pressure on the Tigers. There, up there to David. Little rubber kick through. Nice work there by Chisholm. Knocked on.
Knocked on.
He grabbed at it, and really it had popped up for him. It was gettable, this, and just shows you've got to concentrate right to the last second. Bobs up. I guess it was on its way past him. Let's have a look.
Even though his face was back towards the line he's defending, I think he just raked his hands forward a little bit, or towards his body, and as a consequence, that was the reason why the referee found the knock-on. So Tweed with this scrum feed and a chance for back-to-back tries here.
They seem to be prone to call knock-ons any time the ball goes on the deck. There's a lot of times, I think, when it could be play on.
Well, here's Peru out on the right. Morris is there to grab him. But Tweed in good attacking position. Barnes, was that forward? Oh, Nelson very close. He just thought that pass looked a little suspect for a moment. McCann swamped by Stosic, who jumped out of dummy half. Jumped out of marker, should I say, to get all over the dummy half. Matthews. Still just 10 metres out, the Seagulls. Davis on the angle there is Simpkins. Got it back to Davis brilliantly, and there's no support as Newman made the try-saving tackle. Last play, blindside on, a wonderful piece of work there from Chisholm to knock that ball away. Tweed will get the ball back, but that was a try-saving touch from Chisholm.
Yep.
Because there was an overlap.
Yeah, he was 2-1 outnumbered. They tried to hit that blind. Chisholm had no other option but to attack the ball. He did it well. Sometimes these knockdowns are really not warranted, but that one was. That was his only chance to try and disrupt that play. And here come the Seagulls again.
They'll do well to hold out here, the Tigers. Repeated sets.
Yep, there's been some desperate defence by the Tigers. They do rush up pretty well. Let's have a look. Davis up there to Matty King. Milligan's the dummy runner. King goes on the outside again. Has he gone all the way beautifully on the Merritt forward? The pass to Merritt has been called forward from Matty King. And those fading runs today, there's a number of times they haven't timed them. Well, they're not easy to time, I might add, because he did waver it there, definitely forward.
Well, had the benefit of the ground markings there as well to show that it was a very good call from the referee.
If a player is running at pace and going forward, the ball can go forward relative to the ground, but if he's going across field and the receiver picks it up in front of him, then you can be sure that it is a forward pass. Thorpe has also worked hard. Oh, was he injured then? He's okay as he was pushed back in that tackle. Tries to get up quickly to play it. Up there to Shane Newman. Just haven't had any attack ball in the second half to allow them to really throw things around. Good run up the middle. Fabian Sutar, Kaufman, there to Panapa. As well, the bump out of a few, got his hands free, does well too to give it up to Stevenson. Stevenson hits the accelerator, throws the chance, he passes up to Nico, looks back on the inside, Kaufman's backing up. He can't find Kaufman though. Nico in trouble. Well, perhaps he could have done a little bit better there, Nico, than end up running straight into the fullback, put him in a very defensive position. Kaufman to the line, knocked through, picked up there by, good work by Nathaniel Barnes. He was ready for the kick. This is the big set of six now. Can they defend with the same intensity here, the Tigers, as they do when they're defending their own try line?
It was a great offload from Panapa to allow Stevenson to get a bit of space, and then Nico pinned his ears back, but it was a good tackle from Milligan. Now, well, the Tweed making that's easy meterage out of your own half there. Cody Nelson going for a Sunday stroll and gaining 13 or 14 metres. That's not what Troy McCarthy and the Tigers would have been hoping for. Davis with the kick
40-20
downfield, and Stevenson's back there to gather it 10 metres from his own line. 4 chasers led by McCann, and McCann's there to make the tackle.
Well, Stevenson dived at the legs there as if for a quick play the ball, but there's no one behind him to get it.
Here goes Nico again.
Kicking on the 4th tackle there, Davis, to try and pick up his 40-20 play. So it was a good tactic, didn't quite come off. Game's starting to open up a bit.
Tigers through the services of Ohio, 15 metres their own side of halfway. Tweed by 2 in this top versus second bottom affair at Langlands Park. the Tigers, well, you wouldn't have, if you didn't know the position on the ladder and the win-loss, you wouldn't have thought it. As Offerdale plays the football. Now down the left, Panapa. Well, the pass wasn't all that great. Morris was flat-footed and also swamped by Peru. Back to Panapa, down to Kaufman. Kaufman's kip is mis-hit, but holds up a little awkwardly in the breeze. Newman played at it, knocked it on.
It wasn't where Kaufman was trying to put it. He wanted to put it a bit further downfield. And had Newman been able to take it, though, it might have been interesting if they'd been able to keep it alive. Couldn't handle it. It was right in the middle of traffic. And this will allow the Seagulls to perhaps get back out of their own territory and play a bit of attack ball. Barnes. Nice take there by Cannings. Almost to the halfway line. Mossman now to work this dummy half position, so they're giving McCann a bit of a spell. Griffin up there to Peru. Peru does well, get the upper part of his body through the line. Eventually they grapple him to ground. King decides to punch down a blind side, and it looked a bit of inviting too. They managed to close it out, the Tigers. Griffin up there to Davis, the playmaker. Out to Milligan, who's chimed in nicely all day. Up to James Woods, one-on-one with Newman. Back on the inside to Milligan. Good pass it was too. Pass up then to Simpkins. He's brushed away one. Back to Milligan. Good chance if they can keep it alive. Milligan, King, Griffin. Griffin cuts back on the inside. Tackle. That's okay. Play on. Another one to King. Knocked down by Nico. Play on. Play on. It'll be a try to Merritt.
After all of that.
Try.
Wow.
What a try.
That was stunning football from Tweed. From
One
the right
side
to the left, back to the right.
And it took an attempt by a winger to knock down the last pass again. Griffin, Davis, Milligan. Now he'll get it back again after Wood keeps it alive. This is a good flick pass, this one. Milligan, they do well through Simpkins. Back to Milligan again. He gets into that little bit of space. This is where they're starting to feel a heat. Up there to Griffin. High-ish shot, but play on. King knocked down there by Nico. He's a bit unlucky that he wasn't able to knock it clear. But that's a fine try. Whether you counted the passes, Warren, there must have been at least 10 in it.
Yeah, it's all of that, David, just keeping it alive, and he's never able to quite pin them with the ball. They kept shrugging off tackles like that. Simpkins did well. Milligan's been outstanding in a few of these rushes. Rod Griffin beat 3 or 4. Thought he was going to score. Almost loses his head. Keeps on going. And you thought when Nico knocked it on, maybe for the second time, as the winger on the other side had done Chisholm, that they might prevent the try, but it wasn't to be. Merritt's over this time, having been called back previously for a forward pass. This time Merritt scores, and that is an important try because this does give Tweed Heads the 6-point break.
2 today for Tom Merritt to take it to 9 for the season. Davis 2 from 3 with the boot. And this attempt 7 or 8 metres in from touch, out on the right, so that preferred side for the left footer. Just a little bit of breeze behind him, and it curls back beautifully. And now an 8-point break for the table-topping Tweed.
Yeah, this is exciting football, isn't it? Milligan handles a number of times. Here he is taking it off. Wood gets to the outside, but at no point did they cut that ball off. Milligan, again, just keeps linking around. Simpkins slips it back to Milligan. 3rd time he's handled, and on it goes. King does well. Griffin, and they just keep on going. And it'd be interesting, actually. I wonder what the thoughts would be of the coach in regards to Ryan Milligan. He's playing some very good football at fullback because Shannon Walker's still out with that hamstring injury. What Milligan does do, he's very much a team fullback, whereas Shannon Walker's a brilliant individual. And in fact, when Walker's on the field, Tweed Heads seem to want to get the ball to him as an individual rather than stick to the team format. It'll be interesting to see come finals time who the fullback is.
And I just wonder whether that's got the influence of clubs that are feeders to the NRL clubs as well. You can't have Shannon Walker not playing football from the Gold Coast Titans perspective, even though there is plenty of talk about that he may not be a contracted player at Robina next year. Anyway,
well, I'm all forward pass.
Floated forward, according to the referee, not forward out of the hand. Anyway,
it's just on that. It's a little bit like the Jared Hayne versus Josh Dugan for fullback in the first State of Origin situation.
Wood pops it up to Barnes again. Tweed. Well, intercept by Newman. The captain's away, and He's just grasped with Milligan getting a little piece of his ankles, and he comes to a stop on halfway. Nelson finishing off the tackle. Chisholm with the pass inboard to Stevenson. We're getting to see some free-flowing football now.
Yeah, they needed to move it one more time. They had about 6 out there with the defence rolling backwards. This penalty will help them.
A professional penalty almost from King. Here's the intercept, Barnes, and then Newman was waiting. And good chase from Milligan to just do enough to bring him to ground, and the support was there in Nelson to finish him off. But, well, the Tigers, again, we say you'd have to think they need to score next to stay in the game. Sutar is on the field. Fabian Sutar to play at 22 metres out centre park. Holcomb to the left. Kaufman changes direction for Panapa, who almost goes through. The ball came off the foot. Is it play on?
There was a hand in there as well.
Thorpe knocks it on, and it comes to naught.
Well, it was an ambitious pass, to say the least. He's done well today, Panapa, to offload a couple of balls, but this is right in traffic, and you're going to flick that one. You've got to be able to flick it up. And there was no chance for Thorpe to get a hold of that one. That was a great opportunity to get back into this game.
But that intercept by Newman has turned the tide, at least, because the Seagulls, with back-to-back tries, were starting to look like they could run away with it.
Man, they've got possession now, so they'll be pretty keen to move it back upfield. Barnes, and more than capable of doing it too. It's been a good match. I've been impressed with the cool-headedness of the Tigers. They haven't panicked, but they just need to not push the silly passes. If it's on, definitely throw it. They've defended pretty well. There's another good tackle to force Ryan Simpkins back. This time to King, bit of a dummy. Puts it out there to Rod Griffith, running on that edge. Defence, one down low and one over the top, brings him down. King works that blind side again. If he can get it back in here now, this will be interesting. Pass down up to, I think it was Mossman. Mossman to play it. Davis, the high kick. Bit of pressure here for Stevenson. Tricky wind as well. Couldn't be taken. Was knocked backwards, but he's under a lot of pressure. It's gone dead. It's going to be a goal line dropout. Great kick from Davis in tricky, windy conditions.
Just does the right things at the right time, and unfortunately, Kevin Stevenson making a meal of that attempted take and costing his team possession of the football.
But remember earlier when Davis put the grubber in and Chisholm was ruled to have knocked it on. Now he puts a bomb up. Fullback Stevenson drops it. These are match-turning moments.
So the East boys just trying to suck in a bit of oxygen, having thought that they could stroll back to trying to get the football back there and bounced off the crossbar.
Bet he couldn't do it twice.
Yes, the Tigers, can they muscle up in defence here? A very shallow dropout, and the big man Starling surges forward, so the Tweed set starts basically 20 metres from the try line. They've scored the only 2 tries of this second half. Cannings. 8 metres out. Dummy half there is Mossman, the youngster on the field. Davis changes direction to Wood. Spinning run from Milligan. Crossfield he goes, thought of the kick, realised it's early in the set. Gives the pass to Peru, who's through and is held up. Can he get it down? He doesn't get it down.
Video?
Referee was right there. Well, we're going to go up to...
no, he's pointing it straight out. He's happy to...
That does get confusing at times when they put their hands in the air, because it seems to be the start of the motion for the video referee. But good work, body position here from Stevenson.
Yeah, he's had a good game. Well, both fullbacks have. Nice work, Stevenson. Also assistance over the top there by Holcomb. Another chance, though, for the Tweed to finish this set of 6. Pass up this time to Ryan Simpkins.
So Simpkins only, 9 metres out. The youngster in Mossman keeps it alive. King, spinning, stops. Offerdale there, Stevenson along with Sutar to make the tackle. Dummy half burst from Mossman. I think he's got there. He's claiming the try. And we'll go to the video referee.
Well, let's just see if the young kid from the Canberra 20s last year has dived across. Really, the Tigers should have been alert to this threat. It was the last tackle play. So Mossman has gone low and hard, just left to play the ball, and he's going to be hard to stop from there. And depending on where the try line is,
well, that's inconclusive.
Fellas.
This might help us a bit.
Yeah, this was our original angle, and
there's the white line, and he is on it,
back.
I'd say.
But is there a hand under the ball?
There's hands under the ball, but how many? Oh dear, this is looming as one of those inconclusive video evidences that will be given
Either
benefit of the drought, the benefit of the doubt.
The drought, the drought for the Tigers.
It'll continue the drought.
Or ref's call and
well,
I think it's a try.
I can't see.
You there, Rob?
Here we go.
You there, Rob?
Yeah, Tony.
Mate, there's nothing that tells me it's a try, so it's up to you, mate.
It's the last
Ref's
tackle.
call.
Change over there.
No try. The ref didn't see any grounding. Tony Maxud was not convinced, even to the extent of having doubt.
Right call, I think.
Boys, you're short of the line.
Our evidence, your evidence, was the same evidence delivered to the judge. In Tony Maxud.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Tony Maxud's advice was, if I heard it right, was that there was no evidence that the ball was grounded. In rugby union, the TMO, third match official, usually says there's no evidence that the try wasn't scored, doesn't it? The other way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, you just want it, David, because it's not a Saturday at the Queensland Cup unless Tony Maxud comes over and says g'day and complains about one of our comments when it comes to his decisions.
Mate, I just saw him at half-time and I said, Tony, you've actually trimmed your beard a bit. You've taken those grey bits out of it. I think I called him experienced last week. It's getting sensitive. He obviously can't hear what I'm saying.
No, he's on the board of the referees as well, does a great job developing the new wave of referees as well, Tony Maxey. He actually can't hear what we're saying. It just was coincidental that he was laughing at the same time.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought we were able to influence his decision.
I'd say someone in the crowd was having a go at him. And they're used to that, the refs and
They've got programmable mute for abuse referees.
No, we're not ready to restart again, so we just had to practice play the ball there.
Well, as much as we've been chuckling along a little in the last moment or so, East just haven't had really any football down the right end of the park to stay in this contest. They led 14-12, 2 tries to Tweed. They've really got to get the football down your right of screen to just stop what many would sense as the inevitable here today in the top of the table team winning.
They got down there recently, threw a silly pass and surrendered possession and soon territory. Crazy tackle by Griffin, was it?
Peru.
No, it was Peru. What a beauty. As they tried to move it inside their own territory, they weren't going to get wide because Peru had eyes for them. Nice work then to get the ball to Starling off Cannings. He surges forward. Have a look. Starling trying to back his way toward the try line. Here's the tackle. Great one it was too. Pass it back on the inside here to Cody Nelson. He's looked pretty good after he's come off the bench. Brad Davis offloaded. He was put on the deck again. Mossman, good face ball up to Cannings. He'll be able to stop the big man. The big man just held up and pushed back. He was caught in a spinning action. Mossman, good clearance there to Matty King. King goes to the line, stops and dives back inside. Well, after all the hard work that the Tigers have put in, that was probably a pretty soft effort. They forced Matt King to stop and turn to look to come back inside because his options outside were closed out. And unbelievably, there was a gap for him then to run through. There's Cannings going close. Have a look at the good pass by Mossman here to clear the ruck. And that really gets them away from those defenders. That's a good ball. King stops. And where was the closeout in defence, boys?
Well, it's a third try for the year for Matt King. Did the spin and dive for the in goal. That's good technique too. Getting low and keeping the ball nice and tight to his torso. Nice way to finish off despite the pressure of Louis Fauhala coming in late. And just as we were talking about, yes, the manner of the game, we were having a bit of a chuckle. It was tight enough for the time being, but you just got the feeling that the amount of possession and territory that Tweed had was going to reap further points, and it's going to be very, very hard now, regardless of the outcome of this conversion attempt from Brad Davis, for Easts to get back into it. 26-14 as it stands. So important kick to put it beyond the 2 converted tries. Davis 3 from 4 today. And he slams it over. 28-14, and Tweed will be tough to toss from here.
They certainly will be. They've gone close 3 times. Merritt was over. It was a forward pass. Peru was over. He was held up. Mossman held up. No try on a ref's call. And finally, this time, it goes wide from Mossman. Swings it wide. King stops, spins, and I think just a little bit of weariness in defence there. A couple of players, Holcomb might have been one, was late arriving from the inside. The players on the outside couldn't react quick enough to the spin.
And a penalty against, who was that from the Tigers coming in a little aggressively there? Anyway, it's resulted in Tweed getting a trip downfield and inching even closer to, David, what would be their 100th Queensland Cup win.
And certainly been impressive in their last, the 17th or 18th one in a row now, up there to Starling.
Entered the competition in 2003, won the competition in 2007. If they win today, it'll be 100 wins, 84 losses and 8 draws in their history in the Queensland Cup as the sole New South Wales representative.
Yeah, they've been a great addition to the Queensland Cup. We heard Ross Livermore talk about another couple of teams maybe coming. Matty King with a little bit of room to move on the right-hand side, almost through. Couldn't get the hands free, though. The tacklers just managing to trap the arm. But they are looking threatening. Up there to Brad Davis, straight through the middle. There is a tiring defence. Davis can't go all the way. Last tackle played. They need to hold out one more time, the Tigers. Cody Nelson, has he got a kicking game? Not a bad effort either. A little drop punt, but it will be taken on the full there by Stevenson. He'll race back to the 20-metre line. He should be able to take a good quick tap here. If he comes this way with a bit of support, good work. This is the way to go. Up there to Thorpe. Keep it going, boys. Up to Newman. Were they offside? No. I don't think Wood ever got back the 10 metres. But it's fairly difficult in that circumstance. This time Stosic. I did mention early in that first half, Quentin, that Matt Grayeski was picked in today's game, but as the Tigers keep it alive, but was unable to make it. He's in hospital with a blood disorder, and his teammates have said to make sure we give him all the best. We want him to recover quickly, the young fellow, good young player. So we wish you all the best, Matt. The Tweed have dominated in terms of attacking the trial, and up there to Thorpe, could have been forward. Isaac Cochran to the line again, and he's been hammered. Has not got back up.
I think it was Mossman that got him, was it?
This time to Stosic. He is winded, Kaufman.
I'd like to have a look at that in a minute once this set comes to an end.
This time Chisholm. He's taken over that role. Chisholm just dances around as he did a little bit earlier. Chip to straight down the throat of Milligan. And Milligan trying to search onto the outside. He's had a good game, Milligan, up there into Peru. The defence just standing and watching them as Peru fades across the line. And Kaufman in trouble. With the legs up like that, you'd suggest he's...
It was a flying defender. I think it was Mossman that got him. Yes, it was. Correct. The youngster. Right around the sternum. Whoosh.
There's a subsequent tackle by Matty King.
As the boy, yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with... I don't think it was late, the tackle. Yeah. It was
no, just a fair
very
hit.
Close.
Pretty good technique as well.
This is the lot of a playmaker. When you go to the line like that, you're leaving yourself open for a crunching tackle.
Yeah,
gee, he hit him with everything, didn't he? But legally.
Well timed. Yeah, very well timed.
By the way, the news on Anthony Boyd, who was injured much earlier in the game, of course, and they've played with 16 men since. It was a hamstring strain, so
not going the whistle.
Better than having more damage to that knee. But Anthony Boyd won't be back today.
An unusual way to do the hamstring well too, wasn't it? That was a fairly innocuous tackle. Then he wasn't stretching out.
You just thought he might have jarred his leg hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Cannings goes over the halfway line, and this is danger territory for East now. They've been pretty good for an hour of this game, but They're staring down the barrel of a 24-plus loss here. They're trailing by, what, 14 points at the moment. With an arbitrary figure at 24, but yeah, 20 points plus loss as the ball goes into the in-goal and beyond. So that's Stevenson racing it out again to try and give the 20-metre tap. And well, they're still hoping and trying here, and Newman out on the right-hand side.
Well, are they onside again?
Barnes wasn't onside.
Yep. So correct decision here, and that's where you can draw a penalty.
Yeah, the crowd and the support staff from the Tigers are getting quite irate down here about wanting a penalty for inside the 10 from Tweed. And they're still desperate for a big finish to this game.
The penalty goes back to the point at where the ball was tapped, because it's a restart of play. The infringement goes back to where the kick was originally taken, right on the 20-metre line. Holcomb, this time to Stosic. The Tigers, having done very well today, would like to just put a couple of points on, a couple of tries to show that they were very competitive here today for a long part of the match.
Well, they haven't had the ball in this half much in the second half, David, and they're yet to get points in the second half, the Tigers.
That's on the outside there to Panapa.
Time in their own half would be fairly ugly for the Tigers as well.
Yeah, we saw the one in the 20. Panapa tries a little chip over the top, but not a good one either. That's the second time that Milligan has comfortably taken it. Third tackle play as well. That's just panic stations. And really, you've got to keep a cool head. Admittedly, they're trailing desperately. They've been trapped inside their own half for 60%. Is that match stat? Yeah, match stat it is.
And I'd suggest it'd probably be higher than that.
Like 70-30.
Yeah.
70-30 second half.
70% second half, yep.
Statistician Brad Talon is confirming.
And that's a credit to the Tweed Seagulls. I mean, they're not top of the table and undefeated for nothing. They have really come on strong in this second half after the challenge was put to them in the first. Fifth tackle play. Davis will go for the pocket here. Let's try and put the pressure on them, get it away from Stevenson. Does well to throw it back in field, so he didn't step into touch. Up to Chisholm, they've changed places. Chisholm tries a couple of little steps, but ultimately can't get through. So they've Chisholm playing fullback, and Stevenson, nice work there to just flick it back. Shows the pressure that Davis puts on receivers. Keeps asking the question of them, do you want to catch this one or are you game to let it go? If you do catch it, what's the touchline? Nice work here. Up this time to Panapa. Panapa through. Goes past Starling, comes out the other side. Support back. Couldn't be taken there by Offerdale. Or was it Offerdale? Well, all that good work. There's been a couple of good breaks in this game that haven't been able to be capitalised on by the Tigers. Nate Barnes.
Yeah, that was tremendous work by Harler, first of all. Made the break and got it to Panapa, and he was away.
Comes to naught. Was Offerdale in support. Stosic with a lovely little pop pass there, and then Panapa got away from Starling.
Should have been taken. Ball went backwards here, so a good chance now for the Seagulls to keep it alive. Up there to Barnes. He's been harassed by Thorpe. He's been busy all day, the back rower. The Tigers have tried, but they just haven't been able to withstand this relentless play in the second half by Tweed Seagulls. Cody Nelson, when he came off the bench, has been very good. Cannings, geez, you don't throw dummies to those big fellas. They don't like to run if they don't get the footy. We'll pass them King out to Peru. Peru, little grubber kick through, puts pressure on Nico. Nico chances to knock back into Chisholm. Wow. That is ambitious play, to say the least. Nico looks back to Chisholm and probably says, sorry, mate. Really, he put his fullback under a lot of pressure. Probably lucky that he put it dead in the end.
Well, in the club room later on, he'll be saying, no, I was just trying to tap it dead.
Always going to put it dead.
I was just trying to tap it dead.
Well, they were told to have fun out there today. I wonder whether Troy McCarthy's laughing. It's hard. It's a difficult situation. They were in a no-win.
And a very shallow restart. Comfortably taken by King, and now he's lost it under pressure of the tacklers there, and Offerdale's picked it up. Oh, intercept! No, Davis knocked it on.
Doesn't he read it well, though, Davis? He could just see it opening like in front of him like a book. And there wasn't a long pass. He just got in the road and nearly intercepted. There he is. Such a good football brain, Brad Davis. And, The Tigers supporters, they can still, well, they've enjoyed themselves anyway. Was the name of the day for the Tigers to enjoy themselves?
Yeah, it's been a terrific day weather-wise in Langlands Park, one of the better venues in the Q Cup. But they haven't seen too many wins this year. Oh, and there's a...
Fancy?
What do you call that type of play there? Is that...
pass to yourself.
There. Yeah. It's the old...
Pass to yourself.
It's not a goose step, it's the goose pass, is it? Or just a goose? If you drop it, perhaps.
You can't blame the passer, though, can you, if you drop it?
No. Played by Harler. And now Thorpe.
Best attack side and best defence side, Seagulls, showing why.
Panapa pushes away, well, tried to push away from Birdie, but Birdie clings on. And Peru, he's lost it. That's who's got the football. It's underneath the buttock of King, and the referee's going to say it's knock on from the Tigers.
Well, he tried to keep it alive, and at this stage, I've got no worries with just pushing the passes. There was one earlier in the second half where I think he would have done better to hold, but now there's it's worth a try. Looks like as he threw it, it was sort of partially blocked.
I don't know how that's an East's knock on, but anyway.
I agree with you. It looked like if...
On the sum total of knock-on calls, East have definitely been on the wrong end of them today on the 50-50, including one which led to a try.
Which, in a way, Warren, it's a good point you make, but I don't know whether it's been the winning and the losing of the game today, which is the solace. So, Tweed, expansion to the left for James Wood. 1-on-1 gets away from Newman, but Newman comes again with Stevenson having made the hit on James Wood. Milligan's been highly involved today, and that is a good poser for the rest of the season. Once Shannon Walker is fit, who will play at fullback for this team, which is yet to taste defeat in 2011? Starling with the dummy. Taken mid-park, 35 metres out. Mossman's been good in his little cameo. Birdie out on the right. Takes the tackle. Panapa, the man wrestling Birdie to ground. Davis showing it, spiralling it to Wood. Overlap on the left, drawing past to Barnes. Barnes and in and away, and he puts it down comfortably. That is fine football and a good finish. Clinical, classical wingers play. Barnes receiving the pass, in and away and down in the corner. And that's the cream on the cake for Tweed.
Great ball here from Brad Davis again to get it right onto the outside. Couple of dummy runners, one inside, one close to him. Fires it over to Wood. The right winger in Stevenson was in a lot of trouble there, 2-on-1. Decided to go in, which left Barnes with a clear passage. He was probably on a hiding to nothing. And have a look at Nathaniel Barnes. This will be good here. The speedster, just a little stutter to hold the defenders momentarily so he can comfortably get in the corner.
It was the mini in a way. It was, but he certainly just, that classical, just put them in two minds for half a moment. There it was. He probably could have just gone full ball for the corner and made it anyway, but that just shows you why he is 5th overall in the history of tries scored in the Queensland Cup. 88 now. And 2 today to make it 15 for the season for Nat Barnes. 32 points to 14 it is with this kick to be close to being the last play of the game, inside a minute on the clock. And I wonder whether the Tigers will have the desire or the propensity to restart proceedings before the hooter. 4 from 5 today for Davis. And he's missed that one. Left it out on the left-hand side. It'll be 4 from 6 for the Tweed captain with his boot today. 32 points to 14, close to the final siren.
It's a great try, isn't it? Davis has a couple of decoys. He works them to hold the defence in close. There goes one. There goes Matthews, the second. Long ball, a beautiful ball to Wood. And he drew his man and gave Barnes every chance to make it to the corner. And he did. I think it was Chisholm and Thorpe tried to get to him but couldn't. And it's been a pretty impressive display by Tweed of controlled football over 80 minutes.
We'll hear the hooter in just a moment. There it is. Peru going on a jaunt. Maybe some more points. Davis popping it to Cannings. Cannings throwing it away. It came off an East's hand. Play on. Barnes brings it inboard. Dave's just going to kick it out. He's had enough. He's had enough. Tweed have done the job here at Langlands Park today. That is 18 weeks unbeaten for Tweed Heads, and now 16 wins and 1 draw in 2011 for the table-topping Seagulls. They win the game by 32 points to 14, and now they're 1 week away from equalling Northern Pride's Q Cup record of 19 weeks unbeaten. And Burleigh will be their next opponent at Pezzy Park next week, while the Tigers have got in 2 weeks, of course, with the week off, the continuation of the split round next week, and then Easts go to Rockhampton in round 18. 14-12 to Easts at half-time, but the Tigers unable to score in the second half. 6 penalties to 3, so the home crowd penalty count there. Not much in the scrums. The completion rate, well, just 23 of 32 from the Tigers. Not much better for Tweed Heads. The Seagulls having a little bit more ball, a few more line breaks, but that's the big stat. Tackle in opposition 20. Tweed really getting close to the East try line on regular occasions, particularly in the second half. And that stat, 62% in their own half, the Tigers having to play the game. That's never going to be easy, no matter who you're playing, let alone the undefeated ladder leaders. Just a couple more errors from the Seagulls. East's having to do a bit more tackling, and as a consequence missed a few more as well. That second phase play, the offloads in the first half, particularly from Tweed, a few more there, 23-18 in all. 3 dropouts to 1 from the Tigers, and not much in the kicks in play. Who's the man of the match? David Wright.
Well, thanks, Quentin. I gave the man of the match today to the fullback for the Seagulls, Ryan Milligan. Ryan, great effort. Especially, I was very impressed with the second half, mate. You kept them trialless, and you did the job yourselves.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on that a lot this year, and I think that's the reason why we've been pretty successful. So, it was an arm wrestle early, but we fought through that, and it showed in the end.
Mate, well, I was impressed with your play today from fullback that you got so involved. Obviously that's how you like to play, close to the footy.
Yeah, well, I've been given a chance. Shannon Walker's obviously been injured. I've been filling more the utility role this year, so I'm trying to grab it with both hands now that I have it.
What position do you play as a junior?
5'8" mostly as a junior, so enjoying the time at the fullback at the moment.
Mate, I bet you're enjoying the time at the moment too, because undefeated this season, that's a hell of a run. Just tell us a little bit about the feeling in the camp.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of confidence for one. So, if we play our game plan, we're pretty confident that we can knock over, most sides in the comp. So,
Mate, to keep that up, one of the things that's impressed me too is that, and you look at the side, the strength of your bench. Like when your bench players come on, you lose nothing.
Yeah, that's right. That's another reason why we're successful. 1 to 17 is contributing, and to win the comp, you need all 17 players contributing, not just the 13 running on the field.
Well, you certainly contributed today. Well done, Ryan, and good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you very much. Ta.
And with me from the Tigers is Leon Panipa. And Leon, usually you play in the back row today at 5'8", and a successful individual effort out there today. You got a lot of passes away, made a couple of breaks.
Yeah. I've been playing 5'8" in my junior years, but we've been trialling a few positions at the club this year, and I sort of put my hand up a couple of weeks ago, and fortunately the coach has been quite happy with me there, so I'm just trying to do my best.
Disappointing to lose, of course, but did you enjoy playing 5'8" today?
Love to play anywhere sort of thing. I love my footy. All credit to Tweed. They've been unbeaten all year. So, we try to come out here and give them everything we've got. But unfortunately for us, they were just too good today.
At half-time, you're leading 14-12. How were the spirits in the dressing room at that point?
Yeah, we led the break by 2 points, and I thought we were going really good. We were competing with Tweed. And then, at half-time, we're feeling pretty good. We just needed to carry that on, but unfortunately, we didn't get the start that we really wanted, and Tweed ran away with it.
They're a good side, aren't they? How hard to stop as they were in the second half here today?
Yeah, very hard to stop. They've been pretty consistent all year. That's why they're the front runners. But yeah, we just couldn't match them today.
And the Tigers' season, obviously disappointing. You're down the bottom of the ladder, and I guess you look at the team and you wonder why it is. Can the team fight on through the rest of the season and score a couple of wins?
Yeah, I think so. We're quite a young Queensland Cup experienced team. We've got a new coach and a new couple of coaches who I think are doing a fantastic job. We're starting to gel as a team, but we'll definitely be up for every game until the end of the year and trying to play as well as we can.
Well done yourself today, and better luck next week. Thanks, Leon.
Yeah, thanks very much. Cheers.
Leon Panapa certainly did a good job in the 5'8" role. He's a big man. He did, as Warren said, offload some good ball, but they weren't good enough, especially in the second half. They led at 14-12 at half time, but in 4 minutes into the second half, the Seagulls machine took control. Ryan Simpkins, little run-stop play up through the hands of Davis, up there to James Wood, who does some good elusive play to beat those last couple, improves the position. Didn't convert the try, Warren, but got their noses back in front at 16-14.
An important try to start the second half on the right foot to get back in front for a start, but just to put themselves, I guess, for their own sake, to start positively, but also to put that niggling worry into the minds of East that it's not going to be our day.
Yeah, it's one good footy team, Warren. I think they scored 4 tries in the second half to 0. That's pretty professional job on them.
Yeah, look, they were challenged today by the Tigers, there's no doubt about that, and they've overcome that challenge. When, at the beginning of the game, it's hard to get up every week, particularly when you're playing a team second from the bottom of the ladder. Still, Tweed have done it today, and I thought they went about it in pretty, I guess it was orthodox, but solid fashion.
Yeah, they did. They were challenged early, but came back to do the job in the second half. Have a look at this for let's call it a team try, because just about everyone handles. Milligan out there to Wood, back on the inside to Milligan. Must be about 10 or 12 passes. They keep it alive through Simpkins, back to Milligan again, and then he gets onto that fringe. That was so important. Matty King fires the pass out. Griffin just ducks under that one, and then Matty King, the pass couldn't be, knocked down by Nico, and then across goes Merritt. And you say they were prepared to keep it alive, Warren?
Absolutely. Look, it's great football to keep it alive and just keep waiting till you finally outflank them. Equally, you've got to give credit. It was typical of the Tigers' day. They didn't stop trying either. And the amount of time they spent in their own half, in the second half, and under pressure, I think 3 times they've knocked the pass down to deny a try. They kept on trying. They gave it everything, but they were being outclassed ultimately.
Yeah, they were. There was just a wave of pressure coming toward them, and it finally showed when Matty King, who got a good pass out of dummy half by Mossman, and King just stops, props and spins, and then turns back into space. The Tigers, just about out on their feet at that stage in the 66th minute.
Yeah, it's a good play by Matt King. He's had a good game at 5'8" today, as he always does wherever he's playing. But the long pass from Mossman gave them a bit of width. Plenty of defenders there, plenty of defenders coming up, but the stop and spin meant that he just found the space on the inside. And look, the Tigers by then had been doing a lot of tackling, and I think weary legs meant the space opened up.
Actually, I thought he had a good game today too, Matty King. He was involved in a lot, and as you said earlier in the piece, Brad Davis and Matt King, they're a good halves pairing.
Well, they're so experienced, and they've still got enough speed too, David.
Yes.
It's not as if they're just ball distributors. Kicking game, combination, experience, and still a little bit of dash in the attack. But it's really the ball skills and the way they work the play that's impressive.
Yeah, and Ben Anderson would have been happy with this as the coaches try. A couple of dummy runners, work off the ball, then out to James Wood, draws the winger, Stevenson, fires it out to Barnes, and just that little stutter held the defence off, gets him in the corner.
And this is the 15th try of the season for Nat Barnes. He's only played 10 games. He is a try-scoring phenomenon. When he's on the field, he scores tries, and that's what you want out of a winger. And he's one of the best in the Queensland Cup, by a long way, really.
Yeah, he is. A good win there by the Tweed Seagulls. Warren, the one question, can they be beat? Undefeated at this stage, can they be beat?
They're definitely the top dog. I think the best teams can knock them off, but they're going to be hard to beat. They'll probably be in the grand final.
Yeah, they probably will be. Should be a great end of the season. We've got about 5 weeks before the finals. There'll be some great games. Now it's back to Quinton. He's got all the scoring summary.
Thank you, David. 32 points to 14. Tweed Heads too good after East led 14-12 at half-time for the hosts. Stevenson and Kaufman with the tries. Chisholm a perfect 3 from 3 for Tweed. Merritt with 2. Barnes with 2. Wood and King also crossed 4 from 6 for Brad Davis. So Tweed make it 16.5 wins in 2011. They're still unbeaten. Next week, we're at Bishop Park where the Devils take on the Bears. We'll catch you then.